Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, the folks over at Toyota are a little bit lighter in the wallets thanks to the Department of Justice, who actually laid down a fine because of that whole sudden unintended acceleration situation that happened about this time last year. Not because it happened at all, but more because Toyota didn't really tell anybody till it was almost too late, and they actually kept a lot of people out of the loop. So the Department of Justice actually came in, fined him after a lot of looking into the situation. And this fine's pretty massive, $1.2 billion, that's billion with a B, US dollars. And this is right after a huge payout to a class action lawsuit against Toyota by the folks that own this particular automobiles that were involved in the recall. That they really felt that their vehicle lost residual value because of this whole recall situation. And that payment went out to actual owners of these vehicles, coming in at a class action lawsuit of $1.6 billion US dollars. So Toyota is a lot lighter in the wallet right now. And one organization that should be looking at this very, very closely, and yeah, you know where I'm going with this, is General Motors. General Motors is in the middle of a massive recall as we speak and need to be looking very, very closely at what's going on. That's really why General Motors is really working very closely with the folks involved in this situation and with the U.S. government. They've already put away $300 million US dollars, according to the folks over at Autoline.tv, to actually look, actually moving forward in this particular issue. They're going to need every bit of that, I think. Next up on the list, and some happier news, the brand new Porsche Boxster GTS. The wraps were just taking off this vehicle over the past couple of days. This vehicle will come with a 3.4 liter, normally aspirated flat 6, putting out 330 brake horsepower and 273 pounds-feet of torque. Now this can either be shifted through a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed PDK gearbox. The PDK gearbox comes in with a 0 to 60 jaunt in 4.7 seconds and has a top speed of 175 miles an hour. Now you can purchase one of these, Euro pricing coming in at 69,949 euros or 97,306 US dollars. Now, if you don't like the soft top version, really like a hard top version, the brand new Cayman GTS actually had the wraps taking off at the same time. The new GTS comes with that same 3.4 liter, normally aspirated, flat 6, putting out 340 brake horsepower and 280 pounds-feet of torque. Now it can be shifted through a 6-speed manual or the 6-speed PDK gearbox. The PDK gearbox does a 0 to 60 jaunt in 4.6 seconds and has a top speed of 177 miles an hour. Euro pricing comes in at 73,757 euros or a US pricing coming in at 102,603 US dollars. Now the new Porsche GTS, Cayman, and Boxster will be heading to Porsche showrooms very, very soon. Speaking of Porsche and speaking of the 911, well, of course we weren't talking about it, but now we are. That whole issue with the fires, if you will. Guess what? Porsche actually found the issue. Supposedly, well, one of the articles I saw on it actually talked about a screw in one of the connecting rods. Now, I don't know what a screw is doing in a connecting rod, but that being said, it could be what's called a rod bolt. Actually, one of these actually falling out or coming out a little ways and it rubbing through the crankcase, actually rubbing clean through it and then spraying oil all over the inside of the engine bay and then it catching fire. Now, to me, if I were driving that particular GT3, I would think that amount of racket and what noise that would have made would make me shut it off way before it caught fire, and that's quite possibly what a lot of people got in this instance and not drove it all the way till it burst into flames. Porsche has a solution for this problem. They're going to replace every engine in every GT3 from the 2014 model year. That's 785 units they're going to replace engines in. Pretty impressive. So if you got a brand new GT3 that's sitting over at the dealership waiting, it's going to be waiting on a brand new lump, and then you'll get your car back very, very soon. Hearing they're giving out loaner cars to folks in the meantime. I don't know what kind of loaner cars you get, but you're going to get a Porsche, so still got to be pretty decent. Last up on the list, in my mini travels a couple of years ago, I ran into this rare bird. This is the Panoz Esperante. Yes, these are very rare indeed. A fellow by the name of Don Panos out in Florida actually loved endurance racing and built a Panoz Esperante race car that raced at 24 Hours of Le Mans several years ago. He built some road-going versions of this particular model as well, and they are very rare indeed. Well, guess what? 25th anniversary of Panoz, and they're going to have a brand new model. The brand new Esperante will be coming to dealer showrooms. I don't know what kind of dealer showrooms, but will be coming very soon. This particular model is rarer than rare. There are only going to be 25 units of this vehicle, and you can get them in two different models. You can get them in the Spider model and the Spider GT. Now, the Spider model comes a little bit less carbon fibery and a little bit more aluminum and whatnot. The GT model, the Spider GT, comes with a full carbon fiber body. Now, powering this particular vehicle is a 4.6-liter supercharged V8, putting out anywhere between 430 brake horsepower and 800 brake horsepower. Yeah, this thing's going to be pretty swift indeed. Again, there's only going to be 25 of these models actually built. Not for sure if they're going to build 25 of the Spiders and 25 of the Spider GTs or what exactly. This is some early stuff on this particular deal. Do have maybe pricing on this vehicle. The Spider version will come in at $189,000 US, and the Spider GT will come in at $229,000 US. So for open top motoring, you're going to have nothing better as far as the rarity factor and the Panoz Esperante. Not to mention a fantastic name that you can tell your friends. Let's take the Panoz Esperante. Yeah, that's the way I think all the time. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this week's Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page and like us over there, you can see all the stuff we put up every day. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.